Hello! So I owe all of you a vlog, and I realised that there wasn't one last week, but there was a very good reason, and that is because I had to throw my entire novel that I was going to do for NaNoWriMo out the window on October 17th, which, you know, is a little scary for someone who likes to plan everything. My writer buddy was laughing. But if you want to know how I went from no novel on October 17th to having another plot, outline and scene development by October 20th, this is the vlog for you. You are here trying to figure out if you can plot your novel in an hour, or at least have a rough outline for NaNoWriMo and figure out if it's worth investing your time in. This is what I did. Hi, my name's Nadia, and if you want to hit the follow button, I'm sharing a vlog on what I'm writing for NaNoWriMo, how I'm doing it, and all the horribleness in between. So, on October 17th, I didn't throw away. On October 17th, I put a pin in the novel that I was developing for NaNoWriMo because it was an adult fantasy. The world building was massive, and it was very draining emotionally in order for me to write it in November. So from October 17th to October 21st, I developed out a whole new novel idea, and this is how I figured out in 1 hour if it was worth investing my time. So the very first thing that I did was to choose a genre. You probably already have an idea before you start. If you don't, and you're up for writing anything, just randomly choose one from a hat. If not, choose the one that you read the most. If you consume a lot of content in a particular genre, then you're much more likely to be able to write in that. You can also combine genres. If you like, you can write a supernatural comedy, you could write a supernatural romance. You pick a genre, figure out how you want to do it, done, and move on. It should probably take you about 5 to 10 minutes. Then you're going to pick your main character. You're going to create a goal for your character, and then you're going to develop another character that is in the way of your main character. So if you have journals and free writing, this is really good for this. If not, there is a forum on NaNoWriMo for characters that have been developed and are looking for a home, so do check out there. If you are trying to figure out a particular age group, this is kind of where I start. So once I have a main character and a genre and a setting, I then try to figure out where in the bookshop this book would be sold, and then if it's going to have enough readership. So if I know it's usually not how a lot of people work, but I try to figure out where this book would be in a shelf or in a library, or if the story that I'm thinking is better suited to a different age group. So this is how I went from adult fantasy to middle grade. So which could all go horribly wrong in the next 30 days. Or it could go incredibly well. But your main character, I had a main character in my book that was an adult. And I figured out that the story is actually more interesting if she is based in middle grade and still has that growth between 12 and 16 to do. The story is more interesting. The readership would find a magical theme park more appealing at that age than they would as if it's an adult reading about a magical theme park, at which point then you're kind of moving into Pratchett territory. Or I would, because I'm quite sarcastic. And my humor can be quite dark. So I was moving between those two. So if you know where your book is going to be sold, or the story that you're telling can be sold, you've essentially figured out who your readers are and who you are taking on this journey through the pages that you're about to write. I do this with work all the time, but usually it's with like a landing page. So you figure out who you're speaking to, and how you're going to move them down through the page. Here with a novel, you're trying to figure out who your readers are, who you're embracing into the story, and how you're going to move them through. So I do look at things a little bit differently, but my brain doesn't work like other people's, so it's fine. So once you have a genre, a goal, a setting, a main character, second character, protagonist and antagonist, you can move on to your main character's arc. And I kind of touched on that because my main character had to age down so that she could go through things between 12 and 16. So if your arcs, everyone always thinks of them as being a positive thing, but they can be negative. You can have someone who was inherently good, who went through this character arc and she's just decided to be, I don't know, a thief or a scam artist. Figure out a character arc for these people. So at this point, you're probably at about 20 minutes. So by now, you have a main character, you have an antagonist, you have a genre, you have a character arc, you have something standing in the way of your main character's goal, and you know who your readers are and who you're going to take on this journey with you. And then it is just a matter of fleshing out the idea to beat sheets. I like to use the beat sheet by Safe Cat because it allows me to kind of have an idea when I'm about to tell a story. You're not looking for like a rigid anything. What you're looking at is whether or not what you have has enough substance to allow you to get 50,000 words out of it. Not everything that you write is gonna fit a novel. It might be a novella, it might be a short story, it might be better told flash fiction, it could be hopefully not flash fiction because that's a different style of writing. It's one I absolutely love. But if you're looking for 50,000 words, there has to be enough pacing and intrigue in order to keep the reader reading. And one of the novels that I've been reading recently is the Atlas 6. And it's done very well with different character viewpoints by Olivia Blake. And that has been incredibly intriguing. So, and it's a very good book as well because that was independently published and then it was picked up by a publisher. So you can see all of those things in that book. So by now you have a main character, you have two main characters, you have a genre, you have a setting, you have a goal, you probably have a character arc, and you have the event that's going to be in the way of your goal. You know where your story could be shelved in a bookshop or library, and you therefore know who your target readers are and who you're going to take on this journey with you. So now all you have to do is pop over after 1 hour to NaNoWriMo and check out their beat sheets and novel plotting stage for the next step. If at any point none of them are working for you, give a shout out in the NaNoWriMo forums because someone can point you in a direction of where to go next. And I do recommend picking up the Save the Cat Writes a Novel. And there are some other kind of references that I'm using for NaNoWriMo, and I will leave them below. Other than that, I hope you find a really fun group to be part of, and if you can't, I'm on the NaNoWriMo forums. I will leave a link, my buddy link down below, and you can always join me, and I will of course be vlogging for November here. Our meetups are on Friday afternoons, so there probably won't be a vlog until the Sunday, which terrifies me because Nano is right around the corner. So I probably won't see you again until Nano kicks off. So all the best in your writing journey, and do leave a link below if there's something that you'd like me to check out. Bye.